Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and I've got 5 records to show, black metal, and there's a classic and a few couple of demos and a few other bits and bobs. Firstly, just touching on the 600 subscribers contest. I had a couple more entries in recently, so it's doing really well. So thank you very much if you took the time to make a video. A couple of lads that are completely new to my channel banged a video in, and to be honest, that's fair enough. So like I said, I'll let that run until it'll be the first week in September. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it gives you a ballpark idea. If you want to put one in and you haven't done it yet, then you still got quite a bit of time left to do it. So this video was supposed to have been done probably 4 or 5 days ago, but the dreaded lurgy attacked the Beast household, so I was seriously like man flu ill. Obviously Mrs. Beast got it and she was just like and you know, fine, over with it type thing. I don't think women realise how bad man flu actually is, but I digress. We'll get cracked on and see how many other people I can upset. So first up is the classic that I initially mentioned. This is the mighty Immortal, their debut full-length Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism. This was originally released in 1992. This is the Osmos Productions reissue that came out in 2025. I would love to actually own an OG copy of this, but I think the chances of finding one are, you know, pretty unlikely. Immortal from Norway. This is, for me, one of the most important records in the sort of like the birth of the second wave of black metal, as it were. Again, I am a relative newcomer to the genre, even though I show a lot of it recently. But when you hear a classic album that other people have talked about, and you know, they say how important it is, you sort of give them a little bit more, or personally I give them a little bit more attention, and I can see why this is rated so highly. This is it's the Osmos Production reissue. It's like a smoky grey vinyl. I will still look out for an OG press, but I don't think I'm going to get it. So what do we get? This is one of those albums that the riffs are repetitive but sort of really memorable. You know, you'll find yourself humming it a couple of days later and then you think, oh, I know where it is, but why is that stuck in my head? Sort of like an earworm that bores its way into your brain. Abath on this, I think it's probably his best vocal performance out of anything I've heard him do. Now, granted, I haven't heard everything that he's done, but out of the ones I've heard, I think this is definitely his best vocal performance. It has that that harshness that you associate with black metal, but it's still, you know, it's understandable. It's not too over the top or, you know, theatrical, lo-fi, whatever you want to say. There's the production on this, it does have that raw edge to it, but the sort of almost like a mystical feel throughout, atmosphere wise, and I just think it's, you know, it's a definite, it's an album that you need to listen to. Maybe if you're just thinking about starting to listen to black metal, this wouldn't be a bad jumping in point. I think it's an absolute cracker. And again, people don't praise highly a record, you know, like this unless it's worthy, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's Immortal and their debut. Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism from 1992. Jumping forward many years to someone who's also got quite the reputation, as it were, in the black metal field. This is the latest release from Lord Balao. This is his Unholy Trinity. This is their 10th studio album. This is actually only the second album of theirs I own. I don't own any of the earlier stuff. I got the one that came out in 2022 and the name completely slips my mind because, you know, poser and stuff. Yeah, the production on this is one of my favourite parts of it because it seems to have, this is going to sound stupid, but it uses the drums as its own instrument. It sort of, it carries the rest of the record along. And the guitars, you know, they've got some sort of, I'm not sure what the words I'm trying to find, but some proper guitar riffs that have just a little bit of a different edge to them than what you might associate with black metal. I think it works perfectly. Vocals have that unique sort of, there's a harshness to them, but there is also a bit of a melodic side to it. I know using the word melody and melodic with black metal is sort of frowned upon. We get the inner sheet with the lyrics on that side, and then the band members and the recording info, etc. on that side. I'm trying my hardest to keep the glare down, but, you know, this is just on black wax. Did I say what it came out on? It's out on Hammer Heart Records, this one, and obviously Lord Balao from Sweden. But yeah, this is a really solid release. I don't know if it'll be in my end of year list, but it's definitely worth a listen. You know, if you're a fan of sort of a more melodic approach, maybe. Again, that might be being a little bit unfair on it, but yeah, I think it's a really good album and well worth giving it a spin. So that is Lord Balao and his Unholy Trinity. Now, next up was a bit of a, I needed it to complete the collection, even though they've only got 4 albums out. This band were one of the highlights for me at the Fortress Festival that myself and Johnny Mac went to. This is the mighty Dodgerit and their second album, Spirit Crusher. This came out in 2018. This version is on Prosthetic Records. Dodgerit are from Sweden. This is definitely black metal, but it's sort of got that like a crust punk edge to it as well. You know, it's not just pure unadulterated black metal. The vocals on this are as harsh as you would expect. They're very angry, very emotive, quite spiteful. I apologise if you're not a fan of coloured vinyl, as I aren't, but it was the only version I could get hold of. It's sort of clear with a like a reddy, pinky type smoke effect. Bollocks, don't like it, not a fan. Want a black version, we'll buy a black version and send this one to somebody else. But yeah, this has got that that iciness and eeriness that you do associate with black metal, but it's got like I said, that crust punk sort of vibe that runs throughout it. Some of the music in isolation is, you could be mistaken for thinking, well, that's just like a really good crust punk album. Obviously the vocals are what change it, and some of the riffing is definitely black metal riffing. But again, it's an album that I wanted it to complete the discography, which, I mean, they've only got 4 albums, but each album is just absolutely, you know, chef's kiss, superb. Fantastic band, I can't wait to see them again. But this is quite easily, if I'd have been doing videos back in the day, this would have probably been my album of the year. And considering, even though now they're a live band, when this was created, it was a solo project. I've said a few times, my admiration for these solo projects, whether it be black metal, death metal, you know, it's second to none. For one person to have that much talent it's quite greedy, to be fair. They should have shared it out to us, me Immortals. But yeah, so that's Dodsrit, sorry, and their second album, Spirit Crusher. So we're going. This next one is, again, it's a solo project, whereas that one is a mix of black metal, crust punk. This is pure black metal. As soon as you see the cover, it just screams black metal. This is Trembling Void, and this has the very imaginative title of Demo 1. This came out in 2022, and no surprise with the title Demo 1, it was the debut release. This is on, did I make a note? Because I can't read that. Inferna Profundis Records. This is a one-man project from Canada. How best to describe this? This is, out of the demos, the black metal demos I picked up recently, this is definitely one of my favourites. It's got, there is that lo-fi feeling to it, but it's got like a bounce to it throughout that carries you along. When the synths come in, they're quite captivating. I was going to say enchanting, but that sounds a bit like fairy tale-ish. But the inner sheet doesn't have a massive amount on it, apart from a pair of gloves. I think Johnny Mac said he's going to get some of them next year for Fortress Festival. I might just be making that up, actually. But yeah, this is again, it's one of those demos. The mix isn't demo quality, you know, it's better than that. It is still lo-fi, which doesn't sound like the tape recorder's been sat in a bucket of nails. You know, it has got a fullness of sorts to it. The vocals are as harsh and screamed as you would expect with this type of a project. It is quite a hectic record, but again, it does have certain passages that are melodic, as it were, and it's, like I say, it's out of all the demos I picked up recently, and I have bought probably far too many. This is definitely up there as one of the best, just because it's just slightly different, a little bit more, I don't know if quirky is the right word, but you know, it's got that type of feel to it. It's just a little bit different than normal black metal, if there is such a thing as normal black metal. So that is Trembling Void and Demo 1. So the last one for this little video is, I bought this purely because, well, two reasons. Firstly, it was dirt cheap, Beatdown Records, and secondly, the cover art is just, it's very, very simple, but also very disturbing. Not enough to get you, well, hopefully not enough to get you kicked off YouTube for a week, but you know, if we are, there you are. So this is the band Serum Dreg. This is their release Impure Blood that was originally came out in 2015. This is the Iron Bonehead release from 2022. This is called Impure Blood. This is a 4-track demo, and if you're a fan of Darkthrone and you love Soulside Journey, and then obviously A Blaze in the Northern Sky came after it, and it was like, whoa. I read a review and the guy said this is the type of album that would fit between those two albums by Darkthrone. It's not quite up to Darkthrone's, you know, calibre, which it's black metal, but it's definitely got a death metal sort of feel to it. Some of the riffs could have easily been lifted off a death metal record. Again, the vocals are unmistakably black metal. They have very much a savageness. They're not really that understandable, but it fits in with the music really, really well. Again, the price I paid for it, you know, it was worth a gamble, and I'm really glad that I did, because it's such an interesting record. It's not pure black metal, it's certainly not pure death metal. Some of the guitar tones, you know, they wouldn't go amiss on a 90s death metal record, but the way it's mixed and the way it's brought together, say that the Dark Throne between Soulside Journey and Blazing in the Northern Sky comparison is pretty much spot on. So if you're a fan of either of them two albums and you wonder, I wonder what they were doing in between times, this wouldn't be a bad shout, you know, to give it a spin. So that is Serum Dreg and their debut release, the 4-track EP In Pure Blood, out on Ironborn Productions, this version. So that's it. It's just a bit of, after my non-metal week, I had to go and get some strange nasty stuff in my ears again. As with all these videos and YouTube, like you say, give a like, a thumbs up, comment and share and all that bollocks. And if you're not a subscriber, then please subscribe, because it makes a world of difference. And you know, algorithms and all them other words I don't understand. So let it go for that one. I've been fortunate enough to receive a couple of albums prior to release. Well, sorry, releases. A couple of them prior to release. One of them from the band. Another YouTuber mentioned it. I won't say who it was yet, because his review's probably going to be better than mine. So the next video I do will probably be sharing my thoughts on those. One of them I've been sworn to secrecy for a while, because it hasn't been out yet. But yeah. So anyway, I'm chatting shit again. Look after one another. Enjoy whatever music you're listening to, whatever genre of music you're listening to. And as always, until next time, cheers!